Hello, welcome. My name is Alenka, and I'm an open source apprentice at Voltron Data, also a contributor to Apache Arrow. This is the second part of my presentation about contributing to Apache Arrow, to open source, and about the new contributors guide. That was the first part of my presentation, was the overview of the documentation. And this part, I would like to make a demo of the contribution to Apache Arrow. Why? Because when I started, I would benefit to have a little bit of a preview of what this looks like, what this process looks like. A disclaimer before we start: it's not a detailed demo. I will not be able to give you all the information you need to make a good any kind of a contribution to Apache Arrow. It's mainly just to see the steps and how I work personally. I also use the simplest tools possible to make this as simple and as clear as possible for you. Before I start sharing, I would also just like to say that the contribution will be in the documentation. It will be a 2-line change in the code, and we'll also make a pull request at the end. Okay. Let's start. I'm going to share my screen. I would like to start with just showing you the build, not the build process, but the outcome of the build process. So this is the terminal. The Git is set up. The fork of the clone of forked Apache Arrow repo is set. So I built from source. I wouldn't necessarily need it for documentation contribution, but I did it so I could show you. And it's also good to build it sooner or later, build the library from source. So this first part is the setting of some environment variables that need to be set in order to make the build process work. And this is the part where I run the CMake for C++ part of Apache Arrow. It's good if there's an issue with the building process, if you get stuck and you need to file a bug report or just ask for help. It's good to copy paste this parts that you get as an output, because it has a lot of useful information for the developers, and it's easier to help because we can see the setup you have. All the variables that are set, all the targets, all of the things you need are printed out also, so it's clear to see. So I'm not getting into the details because it doesn't make sense right now, but I would like to show you the actual output. So this is the end of the CMake, which is the preparation. It gets all the files linked, and so the build process runs on all of this complex project. And the output of the build part of C++ library is the information: which files were installed, updated, and where were they installed to. So when you get to the end of this long list, if there's no error, you did fine. So the C++ is built, and you can move towards the PyArrow part, which we call Python bindings. We call them PyArrow. So the Python functions that are connected to the C++ core library. Again, first is the CMake part of PyArrow. If there's an issue, if there's anything, this is good to copy paste in the bug report. And the building process, where we compile the files. And when you get this kind of an output, you can be happy. this is done. The build process is finished, so you can start working on your issue. Let's look at the issue. This is the Jira issue tracker that we use. You can search for an issue by picking Apache Arrow project. You can add components, Python. You can also add documentation, update it. And there's also labels you can use, like good first issue, good second issue, to make you filter all of the issues and help you find a good one. I already picked an issue. It's a documentation issue. We built documentation with Sphinx, and some time ago we added copy button to the examples if there's a part where the code is presented in the documentation that you can copy paste and use it. There are different prompt characters, so it depends on the console that you on the block that you use. So you can use a Python code block, you can use IPython code block, you can use shell code block. So all of those have different prompt characters, which are these first parts of the lines. So what we want when we use copy button is that this prompt characters don't get copied with the text, because it just wouldn't work. We have to then, delete it in all the lines. So this is what we're going to do. If you look at the Sphinx documentation, you can find Sphinx copy button feature, and you can also find the prompt text, the regular expression that you need to add if you want Sphinx and Sphinx copy button to know which part of the text they should omit when copying. This is the description of the issue. I'm gonna first create a branch to work on. Let's go here. So now I'm on a master branch. I'm creating a new branch from which I will then send the code to the GitHub. So to make a pull request and to so it could be merged with the repo. So this is what you have to do to create a new branch first. Then, pick your own editor and find a file. If you look into the Sphinx copy button documentation, where it's described how you install the plugin and it's described how you configure it, you would find that you need to amend the conf.py file. So in this file, there's already a part for this copy button prompt text, but it's not the way we want. We need extra expressions to filter more console options. Let's go back here and copy button. Use copy button to copy paste text. So adding this here. Yeah, what I need to do also is to delete this last part because we don't have a Jupyter console examples. Save it and go back to the terminal. Let's check the changes. I always check them just to be sure I didn't change the files I don't want to, or that I did change what I need to change, especially if the changes are more complex. You can also check the status for which files were changed. So this one was modified, and this one will be committed to the forked repo. Before we make a commit, I'm going to run the documentation again so we can see that it works. And while it builds, we're going to make the commit. So git commit. I'm going to commit all of the changes. So these are the changes that will be committed, which are printed out with git diff. And I'm going to write a message. I have a help here. Post it. Add regular expression to copy button prompt. Okay, so this was committed. That means that it was saved to the branch, so I don't lose it. It's not visible anywhere yet. It's just like a save button of Git. That's my take on it. Then I'm gonna push it. That means so this is locally, this is in my computer. So if I want my forked repo to have my branch and my changes, I have to push it to my forked branch. Let me copy paste this. Oh, yeah, sorry, origin. You get really fast. I get confused fast when I'm doing a demo. Okay, so this was done. We're gonna check it. First, let me see, this is still building. Then I'm gonna go to the repo. So I made the changes, I saved the file, I committed the changes, which are now saved in my branch. And if I go to Apache Arrow project GitHub page, I can see this note where it says that this branch, which I created just now, has recent pushes. And I can compare and make pull request. And this is what you do. So you click this button. And you can see, okay, this is the changes that we made. And what I need to do to link the GitHub PR, which is a pull request, to the Jira issue so we can have a connection, and it's really good for the developers that you can see which PR was done for which issue. I need to copy paste this part. So the name of the issue and also this number. I have to put this part in between so it gets connected correctly. I'm not gonna make a PR yet. I could also make a comment what I did, what changes that I wanted to do with it, or just any kind of information that you want to give to the developers. But before we make the final PR, I would like to check the changes. So I built the documentation locally, and I can. Oh, here you are. And I can check the changes. So this is the official documentation that's online. So if I copy, the text to an empty artsy, it gets copied with it. Let's check. Where are you? Here. So this is from my local file. So the HTML was processed, and it should get copied in the correct manner. So let's see. So this, I'm now going to copy the documentation that was built from my local computer. So it's not online yet, but it will be once the PR is merged. Ta-da! Excellent. We did it. Okay, so it's really fun. And now we can make the PR. We're ready. So the name is set, the title set. I'm not going to do any comments. Just do not make any typos unnecessarily, and it's really clear what it has to be, what's done in this pull request. So everything's done. Now the button, create pull request. Ta-da! And that's it. So I'm already a contributor, and the CI checks start running automatically. If you're a first-time contributor, it will need someone from the core developers to start the checks for you. You can let them know, or you can, once the PR is submitted, we get notified. So we'll get to the PR as soon as possible. Thank you for staying to the end. Thank you for watching the presentations. I hope you will take this opportunity to try and make a contribution yourself also. Bye.